Have you ever sat beside the person you love most and still felt completely alone? That quiet ache in your chest when they're right there, but somehow miles away. You speak, but their eyes don't meet yours. You reach out, but their hand feels cold, distracted, distant. And in that moment, you can't help but wonder, when did we stop feeling like us? It doesn't happen overnight. It's never one big fight or one loud silence. It's slow, like a candle losing its flame, not in a gust of wind, but in the stillness of neglect. Days turn into weeks filled with unspoken words, with half-hearted smiles, with I'm finest that hide oceans underneath. And maybe that's where you are right now, scrolling through your phone looking for something, anything, that reminds you what love used to feel like. That spark, that warmth, that little heartbeat of magic that once made even the simplest moments, a shared coffee, a lazy Sunday, a silly inside joke, feel like home. But now home feels quiet. You still care, you still want it to work, but the rhythm is off. Like a song you both used to know by heart, but somehow forgot the tune. Here's the truth that most people never say out loud. You don't lose love because it disappears. You lose it because you stop feeding it. Love isn't a feeling that just stays. It's a living energy. It grows, breathes, and fades, depending on how present you are with it. And when life gets busy, work, family, responsibilities, we start loving on autopilot. We stop looking, stop listening, stop seeing each other. But here's the beautiful part, and maybe the reason you're here right now. If love can fade through neglect, it can revive through presence. And it doesn't take months or therapy or endless conversations. It starts with one decision, to show up again, fully, honestly, gently. And that's what this 7-day journey is about. Not tricks, not manipulation, not pretending to be someone else. It's about remembering. Remembering what love truly feels like when two people choose to be aware of each other again. Because connection isn't built through grand gestures. It's built through quiet moments of truth. It's when you put your phone down and say, tell me what's been on your mind lately. It's when you listen not to reply but to understand. It's when you notice the way their face softens when they talk about something they care about. That's how love comes back. Not through fireworks, but through attention. You see, every relationship goes through seasons. There is the season of discovery, when everything feels electric, alive. Then the season of stability, when things feel safe, familiar. And sometimes the season of distance, when the spark dims and the world feels colder. But none of these seasons are fun. Love isn't gone, it's just waiting to be rekindled, waiting for you to notice it again. Think about the first time you truly saw your partner. Not just their face, but their essence. That moment you thought, this person feels like home. That spark isn't lost. It's buried under layers of routine, of unspoken hurt, of forgotten gratitude. And the good news is, it can be uncovered. You can feel that warmth again, not by going back in time, but by coming fully into this moment. And yes, I know what you might be thinking, but what if it's too late? What if we've grown apart too much? What if they don't feel the same anymore? Here's what's real. You can't control their heart, but you can control your energy, and energy is contagious. When one person starts showing up differently, softer, calmer, more open, the entire rhythm of the relationship starts to shift. Over the next 7 days, we're going to walk through that transformation together. You'll learn small, powerful rituals that reconnect you to your partner. Not through pressure, but through presence. You'll understand the psychology behind emotional closeness, the simple daily choices that awaken old feelings, and how some of the world's most loving couples keep their connection alive, even after years of being together. But before we get to that, we start here, with you. With a moment of quiet honesty, take a breath, close your eyes for just a second, and ask yourself, when was the last time I truly felt connected? Not just loved, but understood. That moment you're thinking of right now, hold on to it. Because that's your proof. That feeling didn't vanish. It's still inside you. Waiting. Tonight, don't try to fix anything. Don't overthink or overdo. Just notice. Notice your partner. The way they walk, the way they breathe, the little habits you once found endearing. Notice them the way you did in the beginning. Because awareness is the spark that reignites love. And now, I will explore why that spark dims in the first place. We'll uncover the hidden patterns that slowly drain emotional connection, and how understanding them is the first real step toward bringing back that loving feeling. But for now, let this sink in. You are not broken. Your relationship is not beyond repair. You simply stop paying attention to the small moments that make love feel alive. And that's okay, because in the next 7 days we're going to bring those moments back, one gentle step at a time. So tonight before you sleep, take one small action. Look at your partner, even if just for a second, and whisper something kind, something real. Maybe it's I missed you. Maybe it's a thank you for being here. Or maybe it's just, I love you. Because sometimes love doesn't need a plan. It just needs to be felt again. And that single heartbeat of awareness is where your journey back to love Yesterday began. You took the first step, awareness. You slowed down, looked at your partner, and maybe for the first time in a while, really saw them. That small act, that quiet noticing, is more powerful than it seems. Because awareness opens the door to understanding. And understanding, that's where healing begins. See, love doesn't die because two people stop caring. It fades because two people start forgetting. Forgetting how to listen, forgetting how to play, forgetting how to look at each other with curiosity instead of expectation. The truth is, distance in a relationship doesn't start with big arguments. It starts with tiny moments of disconnection that go unnoticed. It's when one person says, I'm tired, and the other replies, you always are. It's when you reach for a hug, but the timing feels off. It's when small disappointments pile up like dust, soft and visible but heavy. Most couples don't drift apart overnight. They simply stop checking in emotionally. They still talk, but not about the things that matter. They still touch, but without the warmth they once shared. They live together, but their hearts live separately, and slowly what was once effortless starts to feel like work. You start saying, oh, we're fine and we're not. You start replacing connection with convenience. And one day you wake up and realize you're living with someone who feels more like a roommate than a partner. But here's what no one tells you. This doesn't mean the love is gone. It just means it's sleeping. And like any living thing, love can wake again when it's nurtured. Let's understand why this happens. Not from blame, but from truth. Our brains are wired for connection. In the beginning, when love is new, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals. Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. That's why everything feels effortless, exciting, magnetic. You hang on every word. Okay. You notice every detail. You feel alive. But as time passes, your brain adapts. The excitement becomes familiar. You start to assume you know your partner, their reactions, their patterns, their moods. And when we assume, we stop paying attention. The mind goes on autopilot, and presence gets replaced with routine. Psychologists call this emotional habituation, when what was once thrilling becomes ordinary. It's natural, but it's dangerous if left unchecked, because love doesn't grow in routine. It grows in attention. And when attention fades, the bond weakens, not because of lack of love, but because of lack of presence. Even celebrity couples face this. Take John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, for example. Despite fame, work, and children, they've spoken openly about moments when they felt disconnected, when life's chaos got in the way of intimacy. But they didn't run from it. They rebuilt. John once said in an interview, you have to keep falling in love with the same person over and over again, by rediscovering them. Rediscovery, that's the secret. Because the person you love isn't the same as they were 5 years ago. And neither are you. The love you shared then belonged to a different version of both of you. Now it's time to meet each other again, not as who you were, but as who you've become. So how do you do that? By understanding the 3 invisible walls that keep couples apart, and gently bringing them down. Wall 1. The wall of assumption. This wall forms when you stop asking and start guessing. You assume you know what they'll say, how they'll react, what they want. But every time you assume, you close a door to discovery. Tonight, replace assumption with curiosity. Ask questions like, what's been on your mind lately? Or what's something you've been craving emotionally? You might be surprised by what you hear. Wall 2. The wall of distraction. Modern love often loses to screens. Conversations replaced by scrolling. Dinner replaced by notifications. Presents replaced by pixels. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, another couple in the spotlight, have a phone basket rule. When it's couple time, all devices go in one place. Because love can't compete with distraction. It only thrives when you make space for it. Try that tonight. 10 minutes of phone-free connection. Nah. It's not about time. It's about attention. Wall 3, the wall of silence. This one hurts the most. It's when small hurts go unspoken. When I'm fine replaces that really hurt me. When laughter becomes polite instead of playful. Silence can feel safe in the moment, but it builds distance over time. Healing starts when you bring gentle honesty back into the space between you, not through confrontation, but through vulnerability. Try saying, "Can I share something that's been sitting in my heart?" That one sentence can reopen a door that's been closed for years. Understanding these walls isn't about blaming each other. It's about realizing that every couple builds them, and every couple can take them down, brick by brick, word by word, moment by moment. As you move into day 2 of this journey, your task isn't to fix everything. It's simply to observe. Notice the patterns between you. When do you both withdraw? When do you feel seen? And when do you feel invisible? These observations are your map. They'll guide you through the days ahead. Because before you can rebuild connection, you have to see what's standing in its way. And once you see it clearly, change becomes possible. Now we will move from understanding to action. You'll learn the exact steps, small, intimate rituals that real couples use to reignite connection. We'll start building your 7-day love reset. But before you move on, pause here for a moment. Take a slow, deep breath. Think of one thing you miss about your partner. Not a big thing, but a small one. Maybe it's the way they used to look at you when you laughed, or the way they used to squeeze your hand without saying a word. Hold that memory close tonight, because love doesn't disappear. It waits. It waits for attention. It waits for you to come home to it again. And you can. Starting You've taken
now.
the first 2 steps, awareness and understanding. You've looked honestly at where the distance began, and now it's time to move toward closeness again. This is where healing starts to feel real. Because love doesn't just return through thinking, it returns through doing. Over the next few days, you'll begin the 7-day love reset, a gentle, soulful practice designed not to fix your partner, but to reconnect with them. Because the secret to rekindling love isn't about grand gestures. It's about presence, attention, and small daily rituals that whisper, "I still choose you." Let's begin. Day 3, the 10-minute unwind. Every evening before bed, choose 10 minutes, just 10. No phones, no TV, no multitasking. Sit facing each other, maybe with soft light, maybe with tea or silence. Begin with a simple question. How are you really feeling today? It sounds small, but it's powerful. Because most couples talk around their feelings, not through them. This question isn't about solutions. It's about space. You're creating a tiny sanctuary where truth can breathe again. If your partner answers lightly at first, that's okay. Don't push, just listen. And when you respond, avoid advice. Instead say, "Tell me more about that." These 4 words open hearts. They say, "I'm here, I'm listening. You matter." As you practice this nightly, something subtle will shift. The walls you built over time will begin to soften. And you'll start to remember what emotional safety feels like. That gentle warmth that once came so naturally. 4. The listening ritual. This one's simple, but it can transform everything. During your next conversation, try listening without interrupting. No defending, no correcting, no turning it into your story. Just absorb. When your partner speaks, look into their eyes. Not staring, not analyzing, just seeing. Because eye contact is the oldest language of love. It's how 2 souls say, "I'm with you." After they finish, don't jump in right away. Take a breath, then reflect back what you heard. So you felt hurt when I didn't notice? Or you just wanted to feel appreciated? This simple act of reflection does something incredible. It tells your partner that their emotions are real, valid, and seen. And when people feel seen, they soften. The psychology behind this is called mirroring. It helps regulate emotion and rebuild trust. Therapists use it because it reminds the brain, "I'm not alone in this." Try it. For one day, make it your goal not to be right, but to understand. You'll be amazed at how quickly tension melts when both hearts feel heard. Dostages the appreciation moment by now. You've begun talking again, listening again. Now it's time to bring light back into the space between you. Each evening, share one thing you genuinely appreciated about your partner that day. Be specific. Not a "thanks for dinner," but "I loved how you made my favorite dish. It reminded me of when we first started dating." The specific appreciation reawakens emotional memory. It reminds both of you why you fell in love in the first place. And when you express it sincerely, your brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It's the same chemical that makes you feel safe when someone hugs you. That's why gratitude is more than a gesture, it's emotional glue. If you want to take it deeper, write it down. Keep a small notebook called the gratitude log. Each day add one sentence. I appreciated how you smiled when you saw me today. I appreciated how you handled the stress without snapping. I appreciated that you were still here, trying. Over time, that little notebook becomes a treasure chest of love, a reminder that connection is built, not found. The science behind why this works, these rituals might sound simple, but beneath them lies deep emotional psychology. When you give undivided attention, your partner's brain releases dopamine, pleasure, reward, motivation. When you listen without judgment, oxytocin builds safety and bonding. And when you share appreciation, serotonin increases feelings of value and peace. You're not just a trying guy, you're literally rewiring your relationship's emotional chemistry. This is why even couples who felt broken often rediscover closeness through small, consistent acts of presence. Because love is a muscle, and the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Remember the story of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds we mentioned earlier. Their phone basket isn't about controlling technology. It's about sacred space. A conscious decision to choose connection over convenience. That's the heart of the 7-day love reset. Intentional love. A moment of reflection tonight before you sleep. Ask yourself quietly, when was the last time I made my partner feel important? Not loved in general. Important. The difference is subtle, but powerful. Love says, I care about you. Importance says, you matter to me more than the noise of the world. And that's what your partner and you are both longing to feel again. So tonight, light a candle. Sit together in quiet. You don't need the perfect words. Just present. Look at them and let your eyes say what your heart remembers. I still see you. I still choose you. Transition to what comes next as you complete these 3 days. Days 3, 4, and 5. Something gentle begins to happen. You'll notice more eye contact, softer tones, small laughs returning. Horrible. Moments that once felt heavy begin to feel light again. This is love reawakening. Not the rush of new romance, but the calm, steady pulse of connection finding its rhythm again. Now we will step into the final part of your journey. You'll learn how to move from reconnecting to deeply bonded. How to keep this warmth alive, even long after these 7 days are over. Because falling back in love isn't the end. It's the beginning of something even more beautiful. A love that has survived, evolved, and learned to breathe again. The transformation, day 6, 7. Awakening and hope something has shifted, hasn't it? You may not even notice it at first. It's subtle, like the way sunlight slowly fills a quiet room. But if you pause for a moment, you can feel it. The tension has softened. The silence between you doesn't feel heavy anymore. It feels peaceful. And that right there is the beginning of transformation. You've spent the past few days reconnecting. Through words, through presence, through appreciation. You've built small bridges of understanding where walls once stood. And now as you step into the final 2 days of this 7-day love reset, it's time to shift from rebuilding connection to living in connection. Because the goal of love isn't to fix what's broken. It's to rediscover what's alive. Shash. The vision of us. Take a deep breath. Think back to when you both first met. Before the responsibilities, before the noise. Remember the way you looked at each other then. Curious, playful, alive. That version of love wasn't perfect, but it was pure. Now it's time to bring that energy into your present. Tonight, sit together and ask this one powerful question. What kind of love do we want to create from here? Not a what went wrong, or a what should we fix, but a what do we want to build? Close your eyes for a moment and imagine it. Imagine your ideal day together. Not in fantasy, but in feeling. How does it sound? How does it smell? How does it feel to be together in that space? As you talk about it, don't rush. Let your heart speak more than your minds. You might find that your vision isn't about big changes at all. It's about little things. More laughter in the kitchen. Holding hands in silence. Saying a goodnight without screens glowing between you. When two people share a vision, even quietly, it aligns their energy. It reminds you that you're not just coexisting, you're co-creating, and that shared creation becomes a new emotional anchor. Something both of you can return to when life gets busy again. If you want, write it down. A love intention, something like, we choose to show up gently, to listen deeply, and to keep rediscovering each other. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be true. This exercise is more powerful than it seems. Psychologists call it a shared meaning, when couples define the story they're writing together. Because love isn't a destination. It's a story that keeps unfolding, one choice at a time. Duh. The ceremony of presence, the final day, isn't about doing more. It's about being more. It's about being more. Presence is love's purest form. It's the energy that says, I'm here with you fully. No past regrets, no future worries, just this heartbeat, this breath, this moment. Today, create a small private ceremony, something just for the two of you. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It could be a quiet walk under the stars. It could be a slow dance in your living room. It could be sitting together, holding hands, saying nothing at all. But whatever it is, make it intentional. This isn't just another moment, it's a marker. The moment your relationship begins again. As you sit together, take turns sharing one truth from your heart. Something you've realized over these 7 days. Maybe it's, I forgot how beautiful you are when you laugh. Well, I didn't realize how much I missed hearing your thoughts. I see now that we were never broken, just disconnected. Each sentence becomes a piece of healing, because vulnerability doesn't weaken love, it deepens.